Alright, yo, what's going on, guys? Go back to the video. It's your boy Benny, and in today's video, I'm playing Lock. Now, I guess you could say I've been blessed with the opportunity to talk to the lead dev of this game, and pretty much a lot of the things we talked about cannot be shown in this video, but there is a lot of things that we talked about that he wanted me to showcase, and there's a lot of things I learned that I didn't know about the game before. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment in the comment section down below. Also, make sure to join my Discord server. It will be in the description down below, as well as the link to the Lock Discord if you guys are interested in joining. Currently, right now, Tester is on sale for $10. So if you're looking to get Tester, go join the Discord. You can go ahead and buy it. And yeah, so let's get straight into the video. Now, the first thing I want to showcase to you guys is what happens when you immediately join the game. Now, when you first join the game, you get put into this dialogue. Now, this dialogue is basically just basic Bluelock intro dialogue. But what I will say about this dialogue is it will be getting turned into a cutscene. Now, I'm going to be putting the sneaks up on the screen of what the cutscene will look like. And yeah, so it's going to be pretty sick, you know, having Ego introduce you to the game. But once you finish the dialogue, you get put into a screen that'll show you 4 different types of builds you can choose from. That'll be striker, defender, athlete, and midfielder. Now, what do these do? Pretty much, it's your starting stats for when you start the game. So if you pick striker, you start off with certain offensive stats. If you pick defender, you start off with certain defensive stats. If you pick athlete, you start off with certain physical stats, and if you pick midfielder, you start off with certain passing stats. Now, there is a 5th card that is a rare chance of spawning called Joker. Pretty much, I think it's like based off of like wild card or something. I assume so. But this Joker is a low percentage chance of getting it, but apparently it's really broken. Unfortunately, as you guys can see from these screenshots, they were trying really hard to get me a screenshot of the Joker card, but it didn't really happen. So now, anyway, after you make your build and load into the game, there is another one-time cutscene that you get, and that is when you first talk to Ego. Now, why do you need to talk to Ego? Ego has a list of things that he does for you. One of the main things, and the most important thing, is that he lets you use your skill points. So in this game, there's skill points and stat points. They're 2 completely different things. So stat points go into your normal base stats, you know, like your power, your speed, your dribbling, those stats, and then your skill points go into your skill tree where you can purchase skills. We're gonna get to the skill tree in a minute, but I just wanted to make the separation between the two. Now, what else can Ego do for you? The only other thing I'm like 100% about is Ego will allow you to unlock your Metavision quest in the future when that gets added to the game. And this isn't even me spoiling anything, because literally you can make inferences based on your choices that you get from Ego. But now, moving on to the difference between the stat and the skill tree and what they each do. Now, if you guys look at the screen, this is the stat tree. Now, the stat tree is really canon to Bluelock. You know, the typical stat that you see in every Bluelock player, how they show them off, which I think is really cool. I don't really remember any games doing this, and if they have, I don't think it's been implemented well. And this game has a really in-depth stat system. Now, it's nothing like Overlock where your stats determine the skills that you can get and you get your like deep Vulcan cards. It's nothing like that, but your stats actually do matter. And an example I can say is in a future update, there's going to be ball receive animation. Now, with these animations, they only proc if certain conditions are met. Now, what is this condition? These conditions base off of your passing accuracy when you pass the ball and your ball control stat when you receive the ball. Now, if you're getting the ball passed to you by a teammate with a very low accuracy stat, but you have an extremely high ball control stat, you will do the ball receive animation regardless. And vice versa, if you have a high passing stat and your teammate has a low ball control stat, they will do the animation regardless. But if you guys both have low of both, then you won't be doing the animation. And the animation is better because it's a bigger receive hitbox, and I think you get iframes after it. I'm not sure. You can call me stupid Crispin if you want. I assume so. Now, as you'll see, there's certain stats that you can't upgrade. Now, these stats that you can't upgrade are stats that you will get upgraded via leveling up. Now, one thing I want to talk about is the amount part of the stat tree. Now, like I said, this is just something that levels up with you. This will level up whenever you level up in the game. Now, what does all these stats mean? The attack awareness, defense awareness, aggression, composure. What do these mean? So, starting with attack and defense awareness, these are relatively simple. The higher your attack awareness, the more you can zoom out when you have the ball attached to your feet. And I think you can guess for defensive awareness, it's how far you can zoom out when the ball is not in your feet. So, having these high is really beneficial, because zooming out in games like this, a lot of people don't really like think about it too much, but zooming out pretty far is really beneficial. And these attack and defensive awareness stats also play into certain things that you can and can't do down the line. When it comes to unlocking certain things, you have to meet a certain cap with these attack and defensive awareness stats. Now, what does aggression and composure do? Pretty much these are different for offense and defense. So aggression is for defenders and composure is for offensive players. Now with aggression is a debuff pretty much. When being near an opponent with the ball, you debuff their shooting and passing stat and cause effects to appear on their screen. So it's pretty much like you got level 1000 aura and they got negative 100. But composure makes it so that when you're versing someone with aggression, you counter their debuffs. So they have plus 1000 aura, but you also have plus 1000 aura. So their aura doesn't affect you. I'm so sorry for that explanation. I'm so sorry. Now, the rest of these stats, you guys can pretty much infer what they mean. Pace, acceleration, accuracy, crossing. You can assume what all these mean. I don't think I have to go over these for you guys. Now, moving on to your skill tree. Pretty much you have to come over here where Chris Prince is, into this area Z, and go all the way down the hall. Now, like you guys saw earlier, there is a one-time cutscene when you talk to Ego. But after that, this is pretty much the cutscene. You just walk in and he's just right there for you to talk to. No, like, he turns around and see. It's just that first cutscene happens one time. Now, what does everything in the skill tree mean? It's all fairly simple. So to start off with, your purple part of the stat tree is your weapons, or clans as they're called in this game. This currently isn't purchasable because you're not able to use clan weapons yet in the game. Then moving down to the green part of the skill tree, that is the trapping part. Black hole trap currently does not work. If you do get this game, I wouldn't recommend buying it because it's broken, because they switched from R6 to R15. So a lot of things in the game are broken currently. And then you have the red part of the skill tree, which is the shooting part. And the only move you can purchase is curveball. It is a passive curve that is really good. It pretty much works by moving your A and D key. So if you press your A key enough, it curves to the left. If you press your D key enough, it curves to the right. And the light blue part of the skill tree is the flow part. Currently you can only get heat and zone, not flow. And then the yellow part is the dribble part. This one is pretty much almost complete except for its final skill. And yeah, if you guys are wondering, rainbow flick, roulette, and step overs are like the best dribble moves. And then you have the blue part of the skill tree, which is the passing part, which does not currently have any moves in it yet. All right, I'm gonna try and show you guys a little bit of what the gameplay feels like. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to get a game for you guys right now because there is a limited amount of testers, and it's very hard to get games, and I currently just don't feel like putting in the work of spending like an hour to get a game going. So I'm sorry guys, unfortunately there's no gameplay. Now this is somewhat of a lie. At the end of the video, I'll show you guys some gameplay of a match that I played when I first got the game. It's gonna be some really bad gameplay, but at least it's something for you guys to see how the game works. Now if you guys do want to experience the game for yourself, like I said, this game is on sale for $10 in the Discord. You can go join the link down below. I'm not getting paid to promote this. I'm not getting paid at all. But yeah, to show you guys some of the gameplay, first I'm going to start off with the dribbles. So this is the rainbow flick. These are the croquettes. I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. Unfortunately, and this is something I hate to admit, guys, I'm not actually the biggest watcher of football. And I know I might be disappointing you guys. I just really like Bluelock. I'm sorry. But yeah, so you got the rainbow flick, which I would say is probably like the best dribble move in the game, and I think that's what Crispin said to me as well. And then you have the croquettes, and then the roulettes, and I would show you guys the chops, but I don't have them equipped because they're kind of doo-doo. And then here is the passive curve. So when you hold down your shot, you can see the curve bar at the bottom. So if I hold down A, which is, you know, to move to the left, the curve bar moves to the left, which means the curve is going to curve to the left. And like you guys can see, the passive curve in this game is really good. The power I just had won't be the same for everyone because I have max power, but the curve still allows you to hit the ball from very far. And like you can see in this clip I'm going to put on screen, if you got a lot of power, you can make a goal from pretty far away. But also, to be fair, that was a pretty fire goal. Like, that's pretty hard to replicate. Now, a few things I want to go over is, one, unfortunately I don't have anybody here to showcase, but there is click stealing. You can just left click and steal a ball from someone, and there is slide stealing. But with the slide stealing, I'm spamming the slide button right now. As you can hear, I'm not sliding. You need to build up momentum before you can slide. And the way the slide works is if you slide on the ball when no one has possession, the ball bounces similar to what happens in Overlock. But when you slide when somebody does that position, you take the ball from them and the ball doesn't bounce. Like I said, pretty much how it works in Overlock. Now, one thing with the slide, if you guys do end up getting this game, you'll notice that when you slide someone, they don't get stunned or anything like that. That is something that did break when they switched from R6 to R15. So it is supposed to be in the game, but it currently is just bugged right now. And when update 1 for testing comes out, that'll be fixed. Now, speaking of what I just said, here on the screen is the roadmap for the testing updates. Now, I had the pleasure to sit there and talk to the head dev, Crispin, about some things about his game. So I'm going to tell you guys everything I asked, and I'm going to tell you guys all of his answers. Now, the first thing I asked is, obviously, when can we expect a release date? And what he told me was around the time when the final update for testers finishes, as you guys can see on the screen, will be when they're getting ready to release the game. Now, he told me tell you guys summer. Summer is a good time to expect it, and I wouldn't expect late like August. I'd expect soon summer. So if you guys want to start getting into the game now, I think this would be a perfect time. So yeah. Now, another thing I got to ask him is, will there be an official league for the game? And what he told me was, of course there'll be an official league. And the way the league will be ran, he's gonna get a bunch of trusted people from the Discord server, and with those trusted people, he's gonna make them all captains of all the teams, and those teams have to pay their players. Now, I'm not talking about real life money, I'm talking about in-game currency. This isn't locked here, guys. Not everyone can just hand out hundreds of thousands of Robux, okay? You pay your players with in-game currency, and it creates a market. So in order to keep the best players on your team, you have to pay them the price of what they're worth, which I think is really, really sick. And I'm just glad this league is organized, unlike some other leagues. Honestly. Fuck you, Redefine. Now, I also asked him if there will be any tournaments or any events that'll give prizes within the game or Robux prizes, and he said obviously they plan on doing a bunch of community-based events and things, but that just is something that'll have to wait until after the game is released, because all their attention is focused on, you know, polishing the game for release at the current moment. Now, another thing you guys are probably curious about is why there's no weapons in the game currently. While most of the weapons are pretty much completely done, Crispin has avoided adding them to the game because he wants to really polish up the base mechanics of the game before he moves on and adds weapons. You know, he said that he doesn't want weapons to be something that crutches everybody in the game, and more so just additional things that people have. Now, if you guys have any questions about the game, let me know in the comments down below. I most likely will be able to answer it. And if you guys want to go ahead and get yourself tester, like I said, the link for the game will be down in the description down below. Also, don't forget to join my Discord server. That is also in the link in the description. Like, subscribe, comment, and have a great rest of your day. Peace out and goodbye.
Yeah, I never give a fuck, dog. I ain't get one at all, nah. But get a camera on my face, so I don't like no vlogs, nah. Live my life how I want to. Nigga, like it's just cause, ho. I don't need time no much,